Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here with some more news about The Walking Dead Season 10. Over the last couple days, we've gotten a lot of new information and photos. So in this video, we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. Before I do begin, though, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe to be kept up to date with anything new we get in terms of The Walking Dead. But with that being said, let's get into it. So starting off with the images, we got some posters as well as some images from Entertainment Weekly. So let's start off with the posters, just quickly going through them in case you haven't seen them. We got Michonne, Daryl, Judith, Carol, Negan, Alpha, Beta. So they're all pretty similar. That's sort of the theme of this, or like this sort of design is the theme of this season. We saw the original poster had that same theme. I do like it. It's pretty cool, unique. We've never seen a poster like that before in The Walking Dead. But moving on to the images, this is the first one. We got the group here at Oceanside and they're training. Now we know they're training here because they released. I made a video a few days ago if you want to go check it out on the channel. But I talked about the titles and the synopsis for the first half because they did release it. In episode 1, the synopsis mentions how the group is training, and it looks like they possibly are going to be training to get ready for the Whisper War, I'm assuming, because maybe they have a lot of people that maybe aren't too familiar with fighting and they have to get ready for war. I like this shot right here. We have Daryl here. He looks like a coach or something. But yeah, they're all definitely training. I'm excited for it. At first I was thinking that it has to do with, because we know there's going to be like a shipwreck also, and that might be it too. There might be a lot of walkers in there and they're training against the walkers. But regardless, I'm excited for this training sequence. The Walking Dead, we usually don't see stuff like that, and I think it'll be pretty cool. Next, we have this image right here of Carol and Daryl. And this went with the article because there's an article that came out talking about how Angela King said there's going to be some beautiful stuff involving Carol and Daryl. We're going to talk about exactly what she said, but this is the photo they released with it. We have them in the woods, and we know they're going to be spending a lot of time together in this season, especially, at least early on in the season, because in the trailer, they were together a lot. There is that. And based on the trailer, it looked like they kind of left the group for a little bit because they were on their own and they were sort of had like this campsite. And I just feel like I don't know if it's gonna pick up with them leaving, or are they gonna deal with it, like have a problem with the whispers and then leave and then come back. But it does look like those two are gonna leave for a little bit. Daryl was talking about how they go from one battle to the next, which he's right. Carol's having hallucinations of Henry, and she's dealing with Alpha, and she's grieving a lot. So I do think these two are gonna have a moment where they leave for a little bit, but I don't think they're gonna leave for a long time. I still think Carol wants to be the one to take down Alpha, at least, and I know I want Carol to be the one to take down Alpha, so I'm assuming they're gonna come back. But let's go ahead and read the article and what Angela King said about these two, and what's going on with them this season. So the report from Entertainment Weekly reads, while much of the attention in season 10 of The Walking Dead will naturally be paid to the departing Michonne, a lot of the story moving forward will be centered around the two characters still standing from the very beginning, Daryl and Carol, seen above in this new exclusive image. We're gonna see a lot of Carol and Daryl in season 10, promises showrunner Angela King, both together in stories as well as pursuing their own path. Alright, so that thing in the end about them being together and on their own, that kind of reminds me, because back when The Walking Dead had their season 10 Talking Dead special, it was just like showing what we can expect in season 10. They had a sneak peek, and the sneak peek included Daryl and Carol. And if you missed it, during the sneak peek, it was just those two talking. And Daryl says something interesting. He says, like, it's been a while since I've seen you. And Carol talks about how she's been at Oceanside learning how to fish and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious to see if we're gonna see them like separate in the season, or are they gonna be, or like is that gonna pick up with Daryl, meeting Carol, and they're gonna be like, it's been a while, because I'm just trying to think about how they're gonna fit it all in. I don't know if they have enough time to show them separate and then together. Like, it could just be one episode separate and then one episode together. But that does remind me. So it does look like they're gonna be, away for a little bit, and then they're gonna meet up, probably early on in season 10, because Carol was off with Oceanside. And speaking of Oceanside, we're gonna get to them in a little bit because Angela King also talked about where Oceanside has been and what's going on with them. But moving on with this article, they said for Carol, that means once again dealing with an unthinkable loss. This time, her adopted son Henry, whose head ended up on a pike, courtesy of the Whisperers. Carol will be surprisingly not exactly in the same place she was emotionally when we ended last season, says King. The child that she adopted and raised into teenagerhood died at the hands of Alpha, and that crushed her. And we'll see what that does to her over the course of this season as she's pursuing revenge against this person. And it also leads to the question of, as King notes, where Daryl finds himself as he sees his friend on this path. So there you go. It says, Carol is on a mission to kill Alpha. And in a way, so first of all, that kind of tells us that, even though they were discussing leaving in the season 10 trailer, obviously she's not going to leave. She's going to come back. But maybe I'm looking into it in a different way, but that kind of tells me that Carol most likely will be the one to kill Alpha. Because if she's on this mission to kill Alpha in this season, like, wouldn't that be a little bit odd, or it wouldn't be fulfilling for the character if the Whisperer War ends? I mean, and she doesn't end up killing Alpha. I mean, I guess, like, if Alpha dies, it's, she's gonna be like, okay, at least, Alpha's dead, she killed my son. But still, I think for her character, it definitely would be fulfilling if she's the one to kill Alpha. So all things to me are pointing to Carol being the one to take down Alpha. But it is interesting that Carol and Negan still I don't think those two have ever talked before, if you think about it. I don't remember those two ever having a conversation, or I don't even know if Carol even seen Negan before. Like, it's been that long, like, I don't even remember. But I don't think those two have ever really seen each other. At least they've never really talked to each other. And that would be interesting if Negan kills Alpha, because I also know Negan is a popular theory out there to be the one to take down Alpha. Like, if Negan kills Alpha, that would be them kind of bonding there. Like, he killed the person that killed Carol's son, and, Carol obviously would thank Negan for that. And those two have never really met each other, but that would be interesting if they do it that way. So, like, reading this is still kind of, for me, it points to Carol being the one to take down Alpha, but I still think that if Negan kills Alpha and that's somehow the way Carol and Negan meet, that would be really interesting. So it could be either or. You guys let me know in the comments down below, which one do you prefer, or which one do you think will happen? Do you think Carol's gonna be the one to kill Alpha, or Negan? I think it ultimately will be up to those two. And then moving on, Angela King also said this: so for fans, more Carol and Daryl is always a good thing. This is one of the strongest relationships in the show, Kang says. They trust each other, they love each other, they are truly best friends. While Kang acknowledges that obviously there's a lot of fans that wish for more, even if Daryl and Carol's journey does not lead to the romantic destination that so many viewers have desired. In many ways, the two are even closer than that as friends. They have just this special bond, says Kang. They both come from trauma and from nothing. There's some really deep stuff between them. There's funny stuff, and there's stuff that gets pretty hairy. They're just kind of on this adventure together. So that was an awesome interview because a lot of stuff she addressed there was cool. Like, I like how she talked about, the romance, because I know a lot of people want Carol and Daryl together. And I like the part where she says, like, they are truly best friends, because for me, that's how I always saw Carol and Daryl, like, as best friends, nothing more. So, I mean, we'll see if it grows into something else. She says here that, it's, they didn't confirm it or anything, but they said that even if it doesn't, they have a special bond. So it could still happen. You guys let me know in the comments down below, do you want to see these two together or not? But that was an awesome article. But moving on to this next one where she talked about Oceanside, because it's been a while. Like, we don't see Oceanside that much. They were gone for a very long time in season 9. And then at the end, when they went to the fair, Rachel was there to sign the treaty. But other than that, we haven't really seen Oceanside. So I've definitely been curious to see, like, what's going on with them. I thought the whole, like, drama that happened between the communities after Rick left during the 6-year time jump, I thought that included, Oceanside. I mean, it could still, we'll see. Because Oceanside was the ones killing off the Saviors going against Rick. So I thought maybe Michonne banned them or something. But we'll see what happens with Oceanside. But let's go ahead and read what Angela Kang says first. Alright, so she says, "It's been really fun having Oceanside back in the fold this season," Kang told Entertainment Weekly. we've sort of been away from them for a minute, but they are one of our communities, and they're an active partner in everything that's going on. Everyone's made a protection pact, and Oceanside is part of that. In season 9, one of the last plans that Tara had before her life was unfortunately cut short by the Whisperers is she made a deal with Oceanside saying, hey, maybe we should train each other. Kang said. Rachel offered up the beach, and so there are people who have made good on that pact. That's part of Tara's legacy coming into the new season. So there you go. You know, we don't know exactly what they've been up to during the 6 years, but they're definitely going to go there to train. That's where that training sequence obviously is taking place, because it is by Oceanside. And I'm kind of curious. Like I'm just wondering like if they're gonna address it. I hope they do, but they are gonna be back in season 10 based on this, like back in the fold of this season. So I'm sure they're gonna be in the majority of the season. Because last season they were just in a couple episodes actually. So it looks like they're gonna be back in the forefront. I'm excited for this because obviously they're gonna need them for the Whisper War. They helped out with All Out War. I'm sure they're gonna want to help out with the Whisperer also, especially since they took down Tara, and they had a connection with Tara. So there you go, guys. That was the interview with Angela Kang. She gave us a lot of good information. Hope that you guys did enjoy that. Let me know in the comments down below all your thoughts and opinions you had about all that. I am gonna wrap it up there for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating, and for more Walking Dead videos just like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.